Good morning, Nigeria. As I always say, TVC has a finger on the pulse and an eye on the streets. And here on the Trending Now segment, we bring you trending stories that are shaping the world that you and I live in. We begin today at the airport, where drama unfolded at Lagos's Murtala Mohammed Airport after a passenger on an Ibom Air flight from Uyo assaulted an air hostess and clashed with airport officials. Now, videos show this woman throwing tantrums and allegedly slapping a crew member before the police intervened. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority says the incident stemmed from her refusal to follow crew instructions and is warning passengers all across Nigeria to always comply with safety directives. Take a look at this video. This is very appalling, and I will say this, whether you are a famous Fuji musician, I'm not going to mention any names, or an average person with no sort of celebrity status, the rule of law only works if we all follow it. I have to ask myself, is this an issue with Nigerian airport officials and their handling of passengers, or is this a general Nigerian thing where we struggle with authority? I don't know. Let's take a look at social media. Ayabie Ikem says, clearly I think the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority security need training. I didn't see any professionalism at all in their handling of the incident. They can do better in this training on unruly passenger. That woman deserved handcuffs, not the glove handling. And Urobo Water says, Kwam too. So I love to take your comments. Moving on into the world of media. A privately owned radio station in Ebonyi State, Legacy FM, known as The Sound of Now, has suspended its acting general manager, Mr. Godfrey Chikwere, over allegations of persistently casting the state governor, Francis Nwifuru, and his policies in a negative light on air and on social media. Now, the station's management in a statement says that Chikwere's actions violated their code of conduct. And the governor's chief press secretary, Monday Uzo, in reaction, accused this suspended official of deliberately undermining the state government's image, despite what he described as substantial support from the administration. Now, Uzo listed donations to the station, including a brand new Shangan SUV, a transformer, and a newly constructed access road, as example of the governor's goodwill to the radio station, which he says had been met with biased coverage rather than balanced journalism. But undeniably, such interventions blur the lines between government support and editorial independence. Now, the question is, in environments where media outlets rely heavily on political goodwill, does a free press truly exist in Nigeria? And we saw this incident unfold a few weeks ago with Governor Bago of Niger State shutting down a radio station. This oppression of the press is very worrisome. I do recall the president during his Democracy Day address in June. He said that critics and reporters should not be hounded or punished for writing reports. He promised to defend free speech. So Governor Nwifuru, if the president of the Federation of Nigeria can hold himself to that standard, what more you? Let's take a look at social media. Ionic Bond says, Chikwere Odo should be proud of himself for speaking out his mind about the poor administration in the state. How many Ebonyans in his leadership position can speak their mind as this young man did? And Chidima says, I don't know if I'm the only one noticing this. If you call a radio station and start pouring out your heart on how hard the country is, the anchor of that particular program will cut you off and start shouting, hello, hello, please call us back, the line went off. Team, as journalists, I've got to play devil's advocate here, and I want us to get down to the nitty-gritty. We have these conversations all the time. When a media house relies on goodwill from the government, can they truly speak freely?
Wow, freedom of speech, but no freedom after speech. That's what we've heard over and over again. As far as what you're saying is based on facts, not emotions. If you have facts that you can point to and say, because of this, because of this, because of that, verifiable facts, you have the professional backing to go ahead and say what you say. However, you should also use the principle of necessity to read your environment. There are ways you can say things and it doesn't hurt. However, the message has been sent. We need to use wisdom from time to time. We cannot say because the press has this freedom to do whatever it should do, then you go ahead and do it. The gentleman has lost his job, and hey, it is the owner of the radio station that sacked him, not because the owner of the radio station needs that radio station to make money, and the way he knows how to make money is to be in the good side of the administration. Doing what is right, I don't know if his criticisms were factual, you know, if he had plenty of facts to back himself up, but now he has to look for another radio station, unfortunately. You know, the Ibom Air incident, both the airport handlers and that lady, they both need training. The lady has to learn how to exercise emotional intelligence, especially when you're in public. My dear, you're a woman, you're a lady, you're supposed to be nice, soft, to have a lot of finesse and so on. That display wasn't very nice. So I want to use this opportunity to call on FAN to do training for every staff that interacts with passengers. This is getting too much.
I want to be sure whether she actually slapped the air hostess, because one of the most fantastic persons I've ever seen in my life has been the air hostess. You know, on boarding plane, whether domestic or international. Doesn't mean that they don't have their own personal issues, but they're always smiling, even out of the pains. You know, smiling, welcoming you, and you feel good, you know, entering the aircraft. I do not know why this woman went berserk, you know, went, you know, haywire in, you know, attacking, you know, officials. If you have any complaints whatsoever, why don't you just lodge these complaints? Maybe you've been having several complaints and all of that. You should always, you know, go through the normal route to drop your to lay down your complaints, rather than, you know, showing a show of shame, because now your video is viral. Your children's children will definitely see it, and the internet will never forget. And you may not be that kind of a person, but then see what you've done. Talk about the mass media, you know, regulations and all of that. There are different controls. There is this ownership control, there is advertisers control, there is regulatory control, there is the government control one way or the other, which we've seen. The fact that it's a privately owned business, and then they need that organization, they need that business to, I mean, they need to, you know, maybe not sycophantic, but at least do some things that paints the government in a very good light, rather than, you know, attacking the government or anything. But hey, why should a government feel very uncomfortable when you're being criticized, especially when it is constructive? It is for you to wake up and see, where am I missing it? What am I not doing right? So that as we sit here, we criticize any government, name it, any government, we do it, but we do it professionally and you know, reasonably, you know, quote unquote. So in all of this, let us learn to develop thick skin, especially when the criticism or criticisms are constructive. Then we address or redress some of our mistakes.
Thank you so much.
And I'll pick up from there to the young man. You know, if what you were saying is factual, then you didn't lose a job because you get a better one. And I tell people, as journalists, the truth must always prevail. I sit here, no matter what you give me, when the truth comes out, I will speak the truth, because that is what I was trained for, to always say the truth. So I just hope that his facts are right. And if his facts are right, Olamide, is so sad that people can no longer say the truth and drink water and relax. Why are we in this profession if we cannot say the truth? Why are we in this profession if we cannot criticize the wrongdoings? And that's why I keep saying, if what he said was factual and is true, then the government should be ashamed of themselves, and also the owner of the radio station that sacked him, because the truth is number one, and the truth always prevail. And the reason why we're here doing this job is to always tell the truth and the interest of the people at hand. So my dear, if what you said is true, once again, a bigger job is definitely coming from you, for you. I hate when people are oppressed like this, you know, because they're doing their job rightly. And then moving on to the Ibom story, when I saw the lady, all I could think about is, who is this tout? God forgive me. Because as a lady, there's a certain way you're expected to behave. And as a frequent flyer, Olamide, over the weekend I was flying as well. I tell you, cabin crew, they are the sweetest ever. You know, I was kind of having an anxiety on board, and the way she treated me, they are not slaves. They are there to make sure that you are comfortable. Yeah. As humans as well, we need to know how to address people. Not because they're cabin crew, you think you can just speak to them anyhow. This has to stop.
That's right.
Nelson, very quickly, please.
Godfrey, you know, Chikwere is a friend of mine. We were both colleagues in Ebonyi State when I was there. He's always been like this, quite frankly. You know, in that part of the country, he's known for criticizing government. In fact, when we were both on different radio stations, I used to as well, the then Governor Wancho Elechi, who the present Minister of Works was his deputy. And I remember the first time I walked into the governor's office, then Deputy Governor Omai, you know, looked at me and said, oh, so now you be that, you know, and we had a nice time. Look, criticizing the government is not an issue. However, your what, who, when, where, how has to be in place so that equity would be on your side when matters like this come on the table. But I also want to add there's a political undertone to all of this. I hope Chikwere himself, Legacy FM, and the governor and all of those involved will be able to find a way to resolve this. And by the way, again, Chikwere himself is a friend to the governor, so, you know, they'll solve themselves.
It's a family problem.
It's a family wahala, frankly speaking.
Thank you so much, Tim. I think the best leaders are able to take criticism and use it to inform their leadership. I'll take some more stories. Moving on, in international news, Bill Gates is backing a new kind of butter, one that doesn't come from cows, crops, or even cooking oil. In Batavia, Illinois, a company is now producing butter from thin air using carbon and hydrogen in a process that completely removes farmland, fertilizers, and emissions from the equation entirely. Now, the startup claims the finished product looks, smells, and tastes like the butter we're used to, but it's made from lab-produced fat, water, a small amount of lecithin as an emulsifier, and natural flavor and color. Scientists are saying that it generates 0 greenhouse gases and uses minimal land and water resources. The company is currently supplying restaurants and bakeries with plans to expand to wider retail markets in the coming years. But as Nigeria grapples with growing concerns over genetically modified foods and the influence of foreign-backed innovations, this latest development raises important questions. Is this the future of sustainable food production? Or another change to approach with caution? In the context of Nigeria, if this butter is able to be locally produced, it could reduce our reliance on imported dairy. The question is it going to complement local Nigerian farming and empower farmers, or slowly edge it out and disenfranchise them? Let's take a look at social media. We'll take 2 tweets. Emilia Henderson says, Bill Gates wants you to ditch real butter for carbon cooked up in a lab. They are feeding you chemicals while killing farming. And Dominic Michael Trippi says, disgusting. God only knows what consuming entirely artificial products like this does to your body in the long term. But moving on, I owe you guys daily BB Niger updates. So in this latest drama from Big Brother Niger Season 10, a housemate, Doris, has accused a fellow contestant, a woman, Sultana, of urinating inside the box belonging to another housemate called Dede. Now, speaking during her diary session with Big Brother, Doris said that she and other housemates, including Dede, had to unpack the box that was urinated in, hand wash all the clothes, and spread them out to dry. And she alleged that this act was linked to Sultana's issues with Dede's relationship with fellow housemate Jason J. Take a look at this short video. But when she was confronted this week, we can't play that video, it was very lewd. The girl who did the act reportedly admitted to the incident, saying that it wasn't intentional, and a lot of people condemned it as unacceptable. This incident has, of course, caused her a lot of backlash online, and it prompted an apology from the handler of her page to the public for what they described as lewd behavior. This is very embarrassing. I constantly say that Big Brother is a microcosm of wider society. So if a young woman thinks it's okay to behave this way, her excuse was that she was intoxicated. But take a look at this more refined video.
The viewers caught this or what? But Sabrina peed in Dede's box, inside her box. So, literally, we had to unpack Dede's box, launder, hand wash some of Dede's clothes. I had to stay up to make sure that I laundered Dede's clothes.
Even myself, I found out this morning, me that did the act, I found out this morning.
When I told her you found out this morning, she was surprised. That's why I know that, you know, she felt.
This is very worrying. Team, I've got some good news for you guys after this, but can you quickly tell me what you think about this? Well, having butter made from thin air, well, technically carbon and hydrogen, but still, is that worrisome? Should we allow nature to take its course and eat what only farms and cows produce, or should we embrace this new food technology?
Well, the human body is organic, and it works well with organic things. Synthetic things, sometimes, almost every synthetic thing has a side effect, you know. So synthetic butter please don't bring it to my table. Personally, don't bring it, because I say no to it. Carbon and what? That's what I'll be spreading on my bread. Come on, man. For the BB Niger, no comments.
That's a painful thing. It's the same person that people are accusing of several things. He's a philanthropist, no doubt, but come on, please, spend your money on things that will help our lives. Yeah. You are not the one to tell God whether the food is sufficient or not. For time immemorial, millennials, we have been eating, we have been eating from cow produce and all of that. Please eat your thing. We don't mind. We don't want.
Bill Gates, I think you should go ahead and eat it. Please don't bring it to my table. Luckily, I don't eat bread, so I don't even eat butter, but I'm definitely not going to be eating that at all. Then moving to the Big Brother story. It's sad to see grown-up girls do this. This story,
can you imagine?
It absolutely makes no sense. You go to the house, you're supposed to portray a good life or something, and you've embarrassed yourself like this. And she's been having a lot of backlash. How do you pee in somebody's box?
I don't think Big Brother Nigeria, Africa, or whatever the Big Brother is an environment to display good behavior. I can't remember the last time any person came on board to display, except for Funeka Moluku on Big Brother Nigeria.
There are many others.
Or two, thereabout. But look, it's a show, and so any kind of tactics that needs to be deployed to create the fanfare, that's exactly what is going on there. For this butter, I'm not a butter person. If I have to eat, it is not cow, Etta is not eating.
My question is, how many calories is nut butter? I might try it. But guys, I've got some good news for you guys. I'll take one more story. Okay. Now, here on the TVC Breakfast Show, Nigeria is extremely important to us, and I mean it when I say that. From the streets of Lagos to global stages, Nigerians everywhere are leaving their mark in business, in the arts, in science, in sports, and so much more. And here on the Niger Triumph segment, we shine the spotlights on every win, big or small, because each victory reminds us of our shared resilience and brilliance. When one Nigerian rises, we all rise. And this segment is our moment to celebrate the grit, the glory, and the unshakable spirit of the Nigerian collective. After all, Naija no dey carry last. Tough time. That song makes me feel so triumphant. In today's Niger Triumph, two young innovators, 23-year-old Maxwell Maduka and 22-year-old Nathan Nwachukwu, are redefining homegrown technology by producing AI-powered drones right here in Abuja, Nigeria, through their company, Terra Industries.
On the outskirts of Abuja, an emerging industry is busy securing some of Africa's critical infrastructure. Terra Industries, co-founded by 23-year-old Maxwell Maduka and 22-year-old Nathan Nwachukwu, is building autonomous security systems powered by artificial intelligence.
Driven by the belief that Africa's industrial growth depends on solving insecurity, these two men produce 30,000 drones annually, supplying 8 African countries. Their drones protect our gold mines, our power plants, and other strategic infrastructure, keeping more than $11 billion worth of African homegrown assets safe. From hardware to software, everything that they do is built in-house, creating jobs for Nigerians and showcasing true local capacity. And on June 2025, Terra Industries achieved a major milestone, outbidding an Israeli consortium to win a $1.2 million contract to secure 2 hydropower plants. These plants, previously exploited as hideouts by terrorists and criminals, will now be under constant aerial surveillance using 12 drones and 35 advanced monitoring towers. And since they began their production in April 2024, Terra Industries has generated more than $1 million in revenue, and it proves that African technology can compete and win on the global stage. In the words of their CEO, 23-year-old Nathan Nwachukwu, their mission is simple: protect our continent's assets and secure our future. Team, this is very, very pertinent. These young men saw a problem. They saw that Nigeria was riddled with insecurity, and what do? They asked themselves, how can we protect our assets tangibly?
Stories like this want to make me stand up and do the jig. It's so heart warming to see that young men, these are my son's age, they are doing wonders. I would like to see the list of their clients and see how well Nigeria and Nigerians are patronizing them. If it is low, this is the time for us to patronize these young men that are going to take Nigeria to a very, very enviable height. Let's do this for them. I really love them.
Yeah.
Right, I say hats off to you, Maxwell and Nathan. You guys are doing so well. And we have a whole lot of Nigerians who are doing well within the country and outside the country. I've done a story on a young boy who would not even receive any tertiary education, but he's doing fantastically well when it comes to innovation. And I want us to develop these guys more.
And of course, Nigeria know they carry last, and that's what we see our people, our young guys, making us see that once you think it, you can do it. Kudos to them, and please, let's patronize them.
Kudos to both of you. I know your names are the ones in the front line, but there's several other persons backing you up to make this a success. So thank you to all of you. We'd like to see more of this.
I would say thank you, everyone. Thank you to our audience for keeping our company on the program this morning. It's a beautiful time. Let's tell you that the views and reactions of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC News whatsoever. Up next will be Your View with Mariah and the ladies. And from the rest of the team, we'll say thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again tomorrow. Bye for now.